Hey there guys, and welcome to another Factorio Friday Facts discussion number 357, Nuke. Unfortunately, Bombug is not able to join us today. He had a crazy work schedule this week and is just super tired, completely understandable, and just wasn't able to make it the time I'm doing this. So let's hop into this though, see what we can get done on our own. It's been a little while since I've done one on my own. So Blueprint Library finishing touches. At the time of writing the Friday Facts last week, not all the planned changes were finished. Here's the finalization, so here we go. Persistent library contents. The problem is old. You play a modded game and have your blueprints in the library, then you decide to put the mods aside for a reason, to join a multiplayer game or just try a different mod set at that moment. If we didn't handle it in a special way, all your mod-related content in your blueprint library would be removed, which, was quite annoying. We solved the main part of the problem already quite some time ago. This is a link to Friday Facts 211, quite a long time ago. With the upcoming support of other tools in the Blueprint library, it had to be extended. Special systems was created for these things. Preview icons of the Blueprint tools, the filters of Deconstruction Planner, upgrade specification of the Upgrade Planner. So then if the related ID isn't available anymore while loading a game, instead of just plainly removing it, it is marked as unknown and the original textual representation of the ID is stored in a special way. So that's pretty cool. The tool can still be normally used clearing the unknowns, removes the information about the slot for good. If you don't clear them, it stays there. So we can kind of see here, Ultimate Belt Upgrader, set this here, upgrade planner, all these. Once you load the appropriate mods again, the IDs are restored. So then of course these would then be restored. So that's really, really cool that you actually get back, as you can see an example here. This is a modded belt clearly. Same with this. You get to, if you turn on mods and reload them, you get the stuff back in the blueprint, which is fantastic. Because previously, quite a while ago, you just lose it completely, and you're out of luck on that one. So this is really good. Upgrades. The UX of upgrading Blueprint's books with the upgrade planner was meant to be provisional, but somehow it remained in use for quite some time. Currently, the only way to use it is to click the button with an upgrade planner in your cursor, which is sometimes quite annoying as you don't even have access to your inventory or blueprint library when you want to click the button. So you had to close the window, find the upgrade planner you want to use, open the window with the upgrade planner already in cursor, and then use it. So it's a bit tedious, kind of annoying, a lot of extra steps for sure. So they created this window. When you click the upgrade window, the game searches all the upgrade planners available to you, inventory, blueprint, library, and lets you select which one to apply, and always offering the default upgrade planner, as you can see here. So this is really, really nice. Instead of having to leave, go back and select one you want, you can just select it straight from here. Super nice. Yeah, okay, I was just rereading part of this. It makes sense. So, as you probably noticed from the picture, I couldn't restrain myself from adding a little feature. Upgrade planners can be now used both ways. As upgrade with left click and downgrade with right click. It obviously works also when upgrading the world. That's actually huge. That's really, really cool. Although, can you already do that? Maybe I'm just dumb. But like in an upgrade planner, couldn't you set like yellow belt to upgrade to red belt, and then also have a different one where red belt is quote unquote upgraded to yellow belt changed to? Or maybe I'm misremembering and you couldn't actually do that. Let me know, guys. It's entirely possible I'm wrong, but I thought you could do that. But this is actually just still really nice. So this is exactly kind of like, I think this is what I just said. Problem is you can already do 3 different kinds of things with a tool, and there are generally quite a lot of people who don't know about basic things you can do, like canceling a deconstruction order or force building a blueprint. No, actually that's not because of that. We added instructions to every tool so the user won't miss it. This is extremely nice. Marks items for upgrade by deconstruction or by construction robots. right click to open, with a cursor, left click and drag to upgrade, right click and drag to downgrade, shift left click and drag to cancel upgrade orders. This is just really nice. I saw on the Reddit, someone made a post about something, and then there was a discussion, someone commented, like, wow, I never knew you could force build a blueprint by like holding shift and stuff, and because it's not really well documented. So having instructions on these are really nice. So we're on to the front of X is labeled Nuke. I promise we're getting that, but they threw a bunch of cool blueprint stuff in here first. So snapping. This is a great example of a feature that I expect to be done quickly and easily, but you know how it goes. First problem is related to build and drag. Most of the blueprints don't work that well when you just build and drag them. So as you can see, I do this a lot. I've had this happen a lot, and it's really annoying because I would think I'd be able to basically have it end up how like this, like the end result. The second problem is the blueprints are often designed to work on a grid, but there's no way to enforce it. Either you have to build slowly and cautiously, or you misclick often. And with the new feature of building in map, the problem was just elevated. This is what the second checkbox is for. It forces a blueprint to be built in a grid aligned to the map center. Grid size? Absolutely. Okay, well, let's just continue reading. To ensure that the user can configure individual blueprints in a way they would match perfectly, the relative position of the blueprint to the grid can be configured by moving the red flag. Okay, what? Okay, hold on. So, can configure individual blueprints in a way that they would match perfectly. The relative position of the blueprint to the grid can be configured by moving the red flag. I don't see a red flag. Oh, is it in here? Perhaps. Our beloved boss kit, our beloved tester, a big pile of bugs have been already identified and fixed, so there's a chance of the blueprint library being released next week. That's awesome. Okay, so we have this. Grid size, absolute reference point. Is this red? This is a red flag. I think that's maybe what it's referring to. This is really nice. Super nice. So if this is fixed, being able to actually just kind of drag, that would be really nice. And then actually being able to have it grid aligned to map center and stuff, and change the relative position would be really, really nice. And we can see here, works really well. Aligning this rail just makes it super easy. So story of well, before we move on to the nuke, which is insanely cool. I love it. You guys are gonna love it. But this blueprint stuff, again, fantastic. Every single change here I think is huge. A good upgrade for sure, as we see. And yeah, I think that's that pretty much covers this section. My puns are nowhere near as good as bomb books. Missed that. Yeah, Kovarek's still doing great work with the blueprint stuff. I'm super excited to get that and try it out. Do a video on all the changes, and of course Boss Kid, who is insane at doing testing and finding bugs, hopefully got things sorted pretty well. He has in the past, to the point of it being released next week, which is awesome. Which really is only about 2 weeks before actual 1.0 release. So hopefully then once the player base gets their hands on it, they'll have a chance to fix and iron out any other bugs that are found. Because, you know, obviously you may have a boss kid, but there's probably still bugs in there that can really only be found when thousands of players use it. That's just kind of how things work, right? So, story of the nuke. Since more than a year ago, Dominic has been updating and improvising all kinds of visual effects in the game, particles, splashes, explosions, so on. During most of the time, we have also been getting valid questions, but what about the nuke? What about the nuke? I've seen questions about this, multiple questions about this on Reddit and such. So, it was a plan from the start that the explosion of the atomic bomb would come last. Not because it's the lowest priority, quite the opposite. However, it's also by far the most challenging effect to create, both on the technical and graphical side, so we kept improving how particles and explosions work and experimenting with graphics for effects, essentially practicing and preparing the ground for the nuke. Smart. I hadn't actually thought that maybe that's why it's not here yet, but very smart on their part. By the way, this section is written by 4 people, Posila, Ernestes, V, and Dominic. The most major challenge visually is the sheer size of the explosion. Normal explosions already benefit greatly from more flexible and various scorch marks and particles and improving the explosion sprites themselves, but that's not enough here. The atomic bomb has such a giant explosion radius that we simply cannot, mostly because of VRAM requirements, create an explosion sprite that would cover all of it. Also, the fact there's 4 people covering this maybe shows like how intense it was to do this. So this is kind of what we get here, which doesn't look too bad. The interesting thing about this, which this may not be their intention, but this is actually not as unrealistic as you may expect. So when a nuke hits, right? I'm referring to real life, and I'm not like a nuclear scientist, explosives expert, but my understanding is when a nuke hits, right, it has the initial actual explosion, which is obviously very devastating and quite large itself, but then outside of that, it sends out the shockwave basically. This still is extremely devastating, and that's kind of what we're seeing here. We have the initial actual explosion, but it's not really that unrealistic to then have just a shockwave is basically what this looks like without actual explosion from the nuke. All this is just the machines exploding, shooting out and shooting out a shockwave out that is very devastating. So even this by itself is not that bad, not that unrealistic, honestly. Definitely works in my opinion. But of course they improve it. So we tried to make an explosion as large as we could fit in a reasonable sprite sheet and limit its frame count as much as we could as well, just like we did in the old days when VRAM was much more of a concern. This mushroom cloud does not cover nearly enough though, so for sure some part of the effect needs to be procedural. The VRAM is not the only problem though. The biggest challenge for the visuals is yet again the perspective of square tiles, where visually the game looks like the player is viewing at a 45-degree angle, but everything is presented as if viewed top down. Both those things are intentional, and graphics get the shorter end of the stick when it comes to compensating for this. I don't even dishtonomy. I can't read, guys. I have dyslexia. Dishantomy. Friday Facts 133. After discussing many really different approaches we could take, we decided to create a combination of a central sprite sheet with a shockwave of smokes being moved outward from the center. And I'm going to say this looks pretty freaking cool if you ask me. This is like really cool. I'm not sure how realistic this is. Maybe it's realistic. I feel like this first one is actually more realistic potentially. But this one is 10 times on the cool factor scale, which I am good with. We're playing a game, realism kind of already went out the door. When you can carry rock styles around your backpack, etc., etc. But this looks really great. It's smoke, but it really actually kind of does look like an explosion. I feel like if they had not mentioned that it was smokes, I probably wouldn't have noticed until I watched it about 10 or 15, 20 times. If they hadn't mentioned that, because I actually looked at this several times before even reading the Friday Facts, and I really didn't notice. I thought this was an actual explosion. So this looks pretty epic, but wait, there's more. We tried to make graphics hide this perspective problem as always and make the explosion move slower vertically, resulting in a visually correct ellipse. As you can see in the animation above, this exposed the problem of entities dying in the vertical direction before the waves get to them. So I did actually notice that. You can see these ones up here are actually dying before this actually hits them, as you can see. So scroll up here for a minute so you can see just a little longer. Yeah, you can see like particularly with these three things, like this stuff right here, it's exploding before the thing even reaches it. So it made the damage apply slower in the vertical direction as well. This does mean you can min-max and run away vertically when shooting the atomic bomb under your feet and will have a better chance of survival, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. I'm sure I'll still manage to blow myself up, And anyone who's experienced with nukes probably just doesn't launch them in a way that they would die anyway. I mean, obviously accidents happen to the best of us, but yeah, I guess you can min-max that if you want. So as you can see, this kind of compensates. We can see the nuke being launched from right here. Obviously, your little engineer gets wrecked. But this does mean that things aren't really exploding before they are hit, as you can see right there. But wait, we're still not done. For further improvement, we've added a ton of random elements to how the particles move and when they disappear, which again makes the edge of the explosion less obvious, but also helps diminish the crescent-like shapes at the end. The explosion is so large that even creating a scorch mark of an appropriate size for it is a problem, so our necessary created a scorch mark as big as we could afford. And then add a whole new tile set to the ground 0, which decoratives to smooth the edges out a bit. So here is a scorch mark. I think it looks pretty cool. You can definitely tell a nuke went off here, more so opposed to what we currently have, obviously before this update comes out. And there's even more, guys. I told you the nuke was going to be awesome. The atomic explosion also destroys everything in small radius to the center. Killed entities don't spawn corpses, decoratives are destroyed, and cliffs disappear, which is huge. It didn't always do this, right? I don't think. Which makes the explosion feel a lot more powerful and impactful. The nuclear tiles remain there forever and are visible from map view as they have their own map color that you can place concrete over them to hide the evidence of your actions. Oh boy. I actually am a massive fan of them staying there forever. And being visible from map view, because there have been times where I have, bugs have attacked me, I've gotten really mad, I've retaliated, and I've just gone on a massive nuking spree, for chunks upon chunks, tons and tons, hundreds of spawners. And afterwards I'm like, oh, this is cool, but, there's no memory of me really doing this, and I want the bugs to remember, and I want to be able to remember. And so having this, having just a wasteland of devastation of these, especially visible from the map, I think is really cool. I'm really, really excited to play with this in game, especially in Death Worlds too. This I think this is gonna be really neat, especially if you're driving your tank through here or riding a train. Imagine taking a train through and you just see these huge nuclear devastation scorch marks all along your path, and just be yep, there was some destruction here. Some stuff happened. But moving down, we have a video, and this is the final product we get. Let me just read this. To complete the effect, we've added a brief overbright of the whole screen based on how far the player's screen is from the explosion. Added sound effects which also react to distance from the explosion. You'll be able to enjoy becoming Death the Destroyer worlds in the new fashion on the 14th of August in 1.0. All right, guys, max volume. This is, when I watched this, I was just my mouth is just sitting there open. This is so cool. Unfortunately, I can't actually fit. Let me not zoom in as much. Does that work maybe? That's pretty close. I think that's probably need to just watch that again, right? So you get blinded for a second, which, that is what a nuke would do. It's quite loud. I like the sound. It looks freaking cool. And as you can see, literally everything is devastated. This cliff is still here, but there was, if you notice, there was this cliff here. We'll play it one more time here in a second. There was this cliff here. That was just destroyed. You can see all the debris around here, the scorch mark, of course. Everything is obliterated. In this, I wish there's actually a speed control on this, because I want to watch this in slow-mo. See how those cliffs were destroyed? Hold on, we're watching this again. Again, this is just so satisfying. So see these cliffs here? It blows it up all the way to about here-ish, I think. Can you just imagine running along? Because you can do this if you time it right. Is running along and just launching one after another and also because the sound, you know, changes with distance and the brightness, just like hearing these like sonic booms just like following behind you and seeing the scorch marks. Oh my god, this is gonna be so cool, guys. I'm gonna have to play around with this a lot. This is really really neat. I am beyond excited to do this. So, you know, this is just fantastic. More great stuff coming in 1.0. Man, I'm so excited. To all the blueprint features, the nuke, all the graphical updates. This is insane. I'm so excited, guys. I hope you guys are excited. I think that's gonna wrap up the Friday facts here. Just fantastic stuff. The nuke, I am very very pleased with it. Honestly, this is the only thing we need now is a vanilla to have nuclear artillery added. I think it's been asked for a lot. There's a mod, of course, so I mean, it doesn't have to be added. But I really hope the mod incorporates these new explosions. I think they probably do. I'm not sure how they mod that, but that's the only other thing I'd ask, honestly. And this is just fantastic. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this explosion, about the nuke, about all the blueprint features mentioned above. Let's just one more time to end this video out. Let's just sit back and watch this. I mean, that's just pretty devastating. Like, it does kind of blind you for a second. So, you know, I don't know, maybe turn down your game and monitor brightness a little bit before launching off a ton of these. Because I can imagine if you just launched, like, several of them in a circle around you, you would be blind. Probably need some sunglasses. Maybe I should just start wearing sunglasses when I play. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it. And since I seem to forget constantly, here you go. I mean, this is the way I should be going back to the top, especially in these long Friday facts, man. Oh, this is so cool. Oh my god. Wait. Did I time that so perfectly? Dude, no way. Did you see that? Did I time that so perfectly? The rocket went up and past us as the nuclear explosion started, so it looked like these like explosive bursts from the rocket engines. Or does the rocket do that? Oh my goodness. Okay, this is... Oh my god, that's so awesome if I timed that correctly. I had no idea that was going to happen. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave your thoughts below. I would love to hear what you think of and all that. And, oh man, that was such a good way to end with the rocket going through those explosions with perfect timing. Anyway, take care, guys. Bombbug should be with us next week. And I look forward to what they're coming out with next Friday Facts. Each one is just really, really good, one after the other. Anyway, take care, guys, and also leave your thoughts on the forums and Reddit for the devs. But until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and do take care.